Hi, we're going to go back to where we left off, which was making the value scales with the steps, gradients, cross-hatching, and cross-hatching with gradient. So we're going to take all the information from this value scale where we go from light to dark, but we are going to moosh it into a circle and try to make a three-dimensional looking sphere. So this is going to be a great skill for you to develop in drawing. It's an important part of drawing, is being able to draw a sphere. So I am going to use something round. You could use something like a masking tape, or I'm going to draw two circles here. You could do this too if you want. Or you can just draw the circle if you feel like you can draw a round circle. I wanted to show you that we use tools to draw circles and make them round all the time. So I'm going to give you like a little preview of what I'm going to do. I'm going to look at the sphere and I'm going to shade for you and just sort of talk you through the process of making the drawing. And let's see, I'm going to be looking at this little ball, but I'm putting it where it's more at eye level with me so I can see a better shadow and light on it. So I'm going to set that up. It's got a mind of its own. It's like a teenager or a cat. Okay, so when I look, just like I just showed you the moon charts earlier, when I look at this, I see that there is light. So my light is coming from like up here. So here we go. And so you have sun, fire, electricity. There's got to be something giving off energy to make light. So when I look at this, I can easily divide this, and then I can see that the shadow kind of goes in stripes that go with that sort of crescent. So it's almost like this is the North Pole with all the ice on it. All the light is hitting right here. So the most amount of light is hitting right here. So this is going to stay white. Okay, I'm diagramming it here, then I'm going to draw it here. And then in the next area, I start to see like 10% gray. So these stripes are in our mind. We're not going to draw the zones. We're just going to be able to see that it's happening. And then as I go away from the light, it starts getting darker. And the more the sphere turns the corner away, so I'm going to get darker. And then I just want you to see that I keep following the marks, those zones. The zones are never really there, but they're sort of like the lines on the line paper. We kind of learn how to see them, and each thing we zone differently, and I will be teaching you about that. And then when I get down to the bottom, there's some reflected light, and there's a cast shadow under the ball. But what's happening is the light is hitting the table, and it's bouncing up and lighting this. And that's exactly what happens when we have moonlight. The sun is lighting up the moon, and the moon is lighting up our darkness on our planet Earth. So we will work with that idea. And then we get this nice dark band of shadow. We have reflected light down below. So you can see really quickly I was able to make something look round. Now the nice thing is your eyes are adjusted to seeing these kind of shadows and highlights, so they will make sense to somebody looking at your drawing. So I'm gonna work with that idea. I can leave that there so you can still see it. So this time I'm just gonna really softly start drawing. I'm gonna keep working with that 45-degree angle. You know, you might be one of those people that drag a lot of graphite around on the side of your hand. You can always put a tissue under your hand, or you could put a piece of paper right here so that you don't make print marks all over your page. Maybe somebody already taught you that. So, you know, we have this daylight here. We have the highlight. If something is wet, it will have a sparkle. Like our eyeballs are wet, so we have a little sparkle inside our eyes. And in the highlight on something like the ball I'm drawing is made out of styrofoam. So it doesn't have a sparkle, but it definitely has an area that's lighter. And then I'm going to start getting into the core of my shadow. The light is kind of right above it, so it's got the core of the shadow wraps around in a band in this shape right here. And I'm going to give you a photograph to work from. In class, everybody would see it from a different angle, so everybody would be drawing a pretty different sphere. If you have a white ball at your house, like a baseball, you can do this. If you have some of these foam balls, they sell at places like Michael's for crafts. We get them from the LAUSD. So down at the bottom, I'm seeing a lot of light. This ball is sitting on like a yogurt container, and the yogurt container is white. And so it's reflecting a lot because it's got a lot of white. Is very reflective. Black absorbs light and white bounces it out. So sometimes when you look really carefully at, like, what's happening here is the light. Here's my light source because I'm drawing the same ball 2 times. So the light's coming from here, and the light's hitting this and bouncing into this, and then this is lighting up this. So it's got like a zigzag effect of where the light is. So I'm just going to use, now, just like moonlight, you know, moonlight can be really bright. Sometimes I go hiking at night in the moonlight, and it's almost like daytime out there, but it is nighttime. There are things that... So the reflected light, it will be very light, but it will not be as light as this. This will always be lighter. Okay, I'm starting to make that thing look round. It's a magical, drawing is magical. You can really fool the eye. Okay, So now I want to have no corners on this, so I'm just going to be like smoothing out. And I can always be lightening. I could make that highlight area lighter. And I could always also draw a box around it. You could shade the background. And shading the background makes the ball, you give it some contrast so the ball looks whiter when the background looks darker. So instead of, I'm sorry, I can't do that without turning the paper because I'll have to drag my hand through that graphite and make a mess. Again, I'm not using special art pencils and I'm not using special art paper. This is just regular old school art paper. So what is making this look so three-dimensional is the fact that we are using that full value scale. We are using pure white. We are using, actually the pure black is only going to be down here and in the background. So we are getting that beautiful range of every light and dark that pencil can make. So I'm just going to draw that box. So I'm drawing a box around it. Okay, you don't want to watch me do that. So, and then sometimes so there's a lot of things going on in my room right now. I have an overhead light. I have a light from this camera projecting on what I'm drawing. I have a light on the ball. I have a kitchen light behind me. So there's a lot of light bouncing around. Sometimes it's not like a perfect controlled environment like the earth and the moon out in the sky. Sometimes there's objects that are reflecting light on or casting shadows on, and so we have to look at everything that's happening. And that's kind of one of the exciting things about drawing the sphere is like every time you draw it, you're going to see different things. It's not like you drew it once and you got it. And when you start drawing human bodies, like there's spheres all over the body, like our noses and our cheeks and our chin and in our lips and in our butts. And some people have spherical bellies. So we have these spheres all over our body, and then we start to have gravity and all different things take an effect on it. Okay, so I'm going to call that done for right now. That looks pretty round. I'm looking at your video. And then here, I'm going to label on this side so that we don't have to. So this is the highlight. You can label your drawing, or you can label right next to it. And so this is shadow. The shadow is, the highlight's receiving full light. This is called our light source. This is the core shadow, or the core of the shadow. This is reflected light. Don't worry, I posted this chart for you. And then this is the cast shadow. Okay, so part of your assignment is to label this. You can either label this one, or you can make me a quick little diagram and label the diagram. Then you're going to snap a picture of that, and you're going to upload it to me. This time you're going to upload this in Skies. Everything that we're doing in this week's work is going to go into Skies, and we're going to kind of test Skies versus Schoology for turning things in, and then I'm going to let you tell me which one worked out better. I actually think you're going to like Skies, and I think I'm going to like skies. So there is your sample. I am going to upload a photo that you're going to draw from. You may have already started drawing along with me, and then will have to use your eraser and your pencil to make adjustments based on the sphere that I'm giving you to draw. Okay, that's it.